Hello, everyone. This is Chandra with C. Diane Designs, and today I'm here to talk with you about when someone lets you down. What do you do when someone disappoints you? What do you do? What's your next move? So, as we move into this new year and we start thinking about where we want to be versus where we are, we'll often think about relationships that we have. And there's always that, you know, one person, maybe more, but there's always that one person in your life. It could be a family member, it could be a colleague, it could be a coworker, it could be a neighbor. There's always someone in your life that will, they'll either say, hey, I'll do this for you. I'm going to be there, when you need help, or when you are accepting an award, or any number of things. They'll pump themselves up or pump you up to believe that, they're going to be there. And then once the rubber hits the road, they're nowhere to be found. And it happens all the time. Sometimes it happens just because of the person's habits or because of a situation. So what I want to talk to you about today is about how to, cope with, how to move on, how to deal with a situation where someone has let you down either once, twice, or quite a few times. So the first thing you'd want to do is assess the situation. Now, you could have a dear friend that will tell you that, okay, you're going to be accepting this award. I'll be at your award ceremony, front and center, cheering you on. And, you go to your award ceremony and they're nowhere to be found, neither in the audience or during the reception or any time afterward. No phone calls to say, hey, sorry I missed your event, or anything even close to that. Just crickets. So you want to assess the situation. Did something happen? Did this person, were they not able to get a babysitter? Did they get into a car accident? Did they oversleep? Or have they done this to me before? This is not the first time, and obviously won't be the last time. So assess the situation. It could be a one-off thing where they just had a bad day or something didn't go right and they just couldn't be there and they didn't have a means to communicate with you. Or it could be that the person just likes to say things in the moment, and depending on where you are in your mind, you'll either accept what they're saying at face value, or you'll say, you always say that. We'll see. So in assessing the situation, then you have to be prepared for what you want to do next. Do you want to stay involved with this person, or do you want to move on? Now, it may seem harmless to stay involved with someone who doesn't follow through with what they say, depending on the nature of the relationship. If it's your neighbor, an acquaintance, you might say, okay, well, maybe one day they'll show up. Maybe one day they'll make good on what they said they're going to do. It's not a big deal. Or it could be a family member. It could be, a brother or sister that, they may live in a different area, or they might live close, or they might say things in the moment because they sound good, but then later you realize that there's something else that's keeping them from supporting you in the manner that they said that they would. So in either case, you have to be prepared to move on. Do you want to stay in this relationship, or do you want to have better, more reliable relationships with people? Your time is precious. Your mind is precious. Your feelings are precious. So there's nothing worse than feeling like, someone says they're going to be in your corner and they're not. They're constantly letting you down. That puts a lot of stress on your mind, and at times can even undermine your self-confidence. So definitely think about your associations and your friendships. If you're anything like me, I'm an introvert. Um, I don't socialize all that easily. That's not to say I'm not social or that I don't have friends. I love people. I love being around people, but that also has its limitations. There are times when especially being a creative person, I value my alone time. But that doesn't mean that I don't value people. I just like to sometimes spend enough time that I need to recharge from any social gatherings I've been involved in. But that can also present a challenge because that means that the times that I do socialize, I have to work a little bit harder to open up to people, to be more open. So in that, though, I'm always mindful of the fact that I have to continue to develop my relationships. Otherwise, you will. I don't want to say fall prey, but you will continue to be subjected to the people that love to tell you that they're going to do all these grand things and don't show up, and then it can make you, maybe even a little cynical or wary of people in general. When you have to realize that not everyone is that way. It's just that we have to be more mindful of who we associate with, who we deal with. And by that same token, we want to make sure that, we're reliable, that we follow through on what we say we're going to do. So by that same token, if you're not going to, be able to follow through on something that you said you're going to do, either don't make the promise up front or communicate with that person. Hey, I told you, that I was going to be there. I'm not going to be able to be there because, my car's not working. I don't feel well. I've overscheduled myself. Let's get together another time. But even if you say, let's get together another time, make sure that you mean it. Words are filled with power. What we say does matter. What we say to other people matters, and what we say to ourselves definitely matters. So you want to mindfully consider who you have in your life, if they're reliable or if they're just talking and making you believe that they're reliable. They're taking up space. And by the same token, we want to make sure that we are as reliable as we want others to be. So just wanted to leave that with you. I hope that you are enjoying your month. You're finding this year so far to be productive and positive. So with that, I'm going to leave you, and I'll see you soon, and take care.